So these are the test corrections to your Chapter 5 test. Number one here, if our slope is 1/3 and our y-intercept is equal to -3, they're simply asking you to drop those values into y equals mx plus b. The 1/3 will get dropped in there, the -3 will get dropped in there, and your final answer will be y equals 1/3 x minus 3. And you are finished with that question. All right, next question asks for a horizontal and vertical. There was a little bit of a challenge with this one. The big thing with the horizontal is you have to remember this hoi. Horizontal lines just have the letter y. The point they're asking you to go through is -5, 4 on a graph. This is the point -5, 4. The horizontal line that goes through there looks like this. That horizontal line has all y values that equal 4. So the hoi answer, the horizontal answer, is y equals 4. That is it for that question. The vertical answer, your big thing to remember with verticals, is the box. With the word box, you must understand that all vertical lines just have the letter x. And this is the x value. The x value is -5. So that would be this vertical line here. And that vertical line is defined by the statement, all x's equal -5. All x's equal -5. So that is your final answer to your vertical question on this one. You must have the letters x and y. You must have the equal signs. Okay? Hoi is a horizontal line where y is always 4. Box is a vertical line in this case where x is always equal to -5. Moving on to question 3. The rest of the questions on here required you to use a lot of point slope form. So moving on to question 3, you're going to have to work with y minus y1 is equal to slope times x minus x1. And in question 3, you have all of the information to put in here, here, and here. The slope that they give you is 1/3. The x value that they give you is -6, so x minus -6. And the y value they give you is 2, so it's y minus 2. These all start as minuses, just like the slope formula does. And then from here, we have to do the distributive property and move the -2 over. So we have to do the distributive property right here and here. You can also do this, plus a +6. So we have y minus 2 is equal to 1/3 x, and 1/3 times 6 is 6/3, or 2. Then we have to add 2 to both sides, and our answer will be y equals 1/3 x plus 4. That is our final answer to question number 3, 1/3 x plus 4. Next, we move on to question 4. The only thing that's missing in question 4 that was given to us in question 3 is the slope. So we have to take 2 -3 and -3 7, and we have to generate a slope for that. 7 minus -3 over -3 minus 2. Just to remember, to remind you, when you do the slope formula, this is x1, y1, x2, y2. So find your rise, find your run. This will turn it, these all start as subtractions. You can turn it to additions. That's 10 here, plus a -2, that's -5. So the slope is -2 for this one. Now we have to bring out point slope form, which was on the board during your test. So now we're going to say this point to -3 and the slope of -2. And we're going to work it as such. Y minus -3 is equal to -2 times x minus 2. Slope gets dropped in and so forth. Turn this to y plus 3, -2x plus 4, because it's a negative times a negative right here. And subtract 3 from both sides. Y equals -2x generated that equation for that line in question 4. Moving on then to number 5. In number 5 it says parallel, and parallel lines have the same slope. So that line that they gave us, y equals negative 2x plus 6, has this for a slope. That's its m value. So we're going to use that slope again. The plus 6, we don't need that anymore. All right? So we're going to use that negative 2, and we want to go through the point 5, comma 1. So back to point slope form. Y minus 1 is equal to negative 2 times x minus 5. Distributive property. Y minus 1 is equal to negative 2x plus 10 right here. Add 1 to both sides. Y equals negative 2x plus 11. This line is parallel to this line. Except this line goes through at 11, this line goes through at 6. So y equals negative 2x plus 11 would be correct. Moving on to number 6, 2 more to go here. Perpendicular lines have opposite reciprocal slopes. Not same, just like we did with parallel. So this equation that they gave us, y equals 2/3 x plus 4, the 4, we really don't worry about that. But this slope right here, we have to change. We called it the perp slope. And the perp slope would be negative 3/2. Negative 3/2. Flip it and change its sign. Now we're ready to proceed. We got to go through the point 2, comma 4. So we go y minus 4, use our new slope, and x minus 2. Now do the distributive property. So we have y minus 4 is equal to negative 3/2 x plus, because it's a negative times a negative, so it'd be plus 3. And then we do plus 4 right here, plus 4 right here. I'm going to show my work over here. Y equals negative 3/2 x plus 7. This line is going to hit this other line at 90 degrees because the slopes are opposite reciprocals. All right, moving on to the last question here. Last question, number 7. We got to find the 2 ordered pairs. All right, we got some snow coming. So 4 hours into the storm, we had 16 inches. 4, 16. 9 hours into the storm, we had 26 inches. What we do now is calculate a slope. Moving on to part B. So we got to do 26 minus 16 over 9 minus 4. So it's going to be 10 over 5. With an answer of 2 there, that's 2 inches per hour. That's our slope. All right. Now we're going to turn this into an equation. We're going to take this point and this slope back to point slope form. Y minus 16 is equal to 2 times x minus 4. Y minus 16 is equal to 2x minus 8. Add 16 to both sides. Y equals 2x plus 8. So it's snowing at 2 inches an hour. That's what the slope of 2 represents right here. And then we had 8 inches on the ground at the beginning, and that's what the last question is really asking you. It's saying how many inches of snow were in the yard when it started. So for part C, they're saying, let's see what happens when x equals 0. So they're asking you to do 2 times 0 plus 8, which would just be 8. So there are 8 inches at the beginning. I know some people put 12 in there, but that would be after the 12 hours got finished. Only 8 inches at the beginning, and that would be part C. So that is the corrections. Notice we used a lot of point slope form. We used point slope form here in question 7. We used point slope form right here in question 6. We used point slope form in question 5. And check it out. Point slope form again in question 4 and in question 3. So you see point slope form occurring in a lot of places. So it's the form that's really most beneficial for you to turn it into slope intercept form. Good luck. luck on your test corrections, and please see me to do a retest only on the questions that you lost points on.